Wim Hof. Do you know when you like day to day, it's sort of like a sense of time and space. Like I said, I can wake up really early, and your rhythms are all different, and you put on a YouTube and you listen to a audio book before 10 o'clock because you're awake. And like I was talking to someone on Facebook, and they reminded me of sort of put things into a sense of perspective time wise, like jobs you used to have and things. I never had any problems with anything or anything in life, right? Generally, my mental health is grade A, okay. When you're working, your relationships, obviously you're fulfilled. When you're not, it's a bit less fulfilling, and you're with whatever parents. But you use it wisely. You're cramming up lots of information in your head. And I said I'd go on Tinder if I thought I could trust it, but you know what I mean. I'm not really that bothered because I don't really want. I'm not interested in sort of one night things or anything like that. And people were talking about how that's how people are nowadays, and it's like, well, what's the point in one night things, really? Because if you can't get to know a person, what's the point? You're just like, well, that actually didn't achieve a sense of. It was good. Like if the last one I had was more like a thing of like, well, why would you want another one of those? Because I don't think I don't know. But anyway, the point is, I digress. The point is, Wim Hof, like breathing, crying, bawling, healing, all them things, ayahuasca, things like that. Because basically, when you are heading, when I've actually been around, like, I did work experience when I was 19 on Ealing Studios, Secret Agent, Gerard Depardieu, Bob Hoskins, Patricia Arquette and people, and you're hobnobbing and you're around sets and it's cool. And it's like when your work background gets really diverse, like then I was at the Dome and I was Circus du Soleil stage manager apprentice, and that was great, moving around, sourcing props, just doing things. It was interesting. I got to meet more famous people, Harry Enfield, Martine Cutchinson, went to the in Camden Roundhouse, hobnobbing. And then it's like I did lots of practical work in engineer stuff as well, like my dad's firm, Patron Lifts, apprentice for a little while, and this and this and this, and then Sky Engineer putting up dishes. And then I went to the O2 when it opened. I was lucky, privileged enough to be one of the first ones when it opened, and then it was like escorting little mixing, I think it was, with Sugar Bait, and then the Marley Brothers and things, and just security. And then it was the best because you get to see all the shows and whatever. And then they headhunted me because I was so happy in my work, always smiling. And then they put me on the long hours shift, boring, when it's open 24/7. And I got fired on a non-event day for sitting in the loading bay, covering a position that normally they put a camera on. So they just wanted to get rid of me because I was losing interest, as you do, because it's boring when it's closed. It's a great job running around, but in the middle of the night shifts, it's not something I think has longevity. So I naturally lost interest when my partner, who also was a security guard, got fired the day after I introduced her to my CCTV team. Like, she says, I don't want to meet him at the Christmas drinks. I said, oh, go on, yeah, whatever. She's going on. And then she was fired her next shift, sort of thing. And that's probably because they were like, that's Laura's girlfriend, yeah. You can imagine, can't you? Oh, look, she's jumping over the barrier at the tube station. She's finished her shift. They fired her for that. So I lost interest, as you do. Anyway, long story short, went to Cornwall, worked on a strip club door, did lots of other little bits and bobs of security, but haven't really worked in. Oh, and then a decade doing film set stuff, background, and obviously you're hobnobbing, you're meeting people. It's nice to know that there's. Do they know who you are really, A-listers, or do they not? But you're saying hello to sort of like, hi, Bridget Jones and stuff, and you meet people, and Cropped FM boys, and then you're being so don't talk to them, don't talk to the artists and shit, and you go like, what bollocks, really? I'm the artist. I am an artist. I mean, just because it's not in a studio and I haven't actually released it doesn't mean I'm not creative and I'm not their equal. That's the way I see it, and I always do see it like that. And anyway, when you're trying to get on your stage legs or get the right help, you go to certain venues that are music venues, and they're not up to scratch for somebody that expects professionalism, really, because it's a venue that has alcohol. and they can just play all sorts of fuckery. So your life can go from there to there because you've got subcontract security in first day on the job, and you're getting barred from a place that you spent good money in over a whole year. And you just found the day that you should go on a Tuesday because that's when you have the jazz jam and you can put your words to lyrics and stuff. But you only get paid in a drink on a certain day, so it's just all outgoing, trying to get your practical life experience and stage legs. Because I was never the person to be institutionalised, and that's it. So really, I said I know this country better than anyone because I've been through so many places, and then I was a town centre warden as well, and I work closely with police in these positions. And then it's like, when you get drunk a few times, you're a vulnerable adult, and they got their mitts on me, and I think that's because they know who you are, and they're just looking for an angle all over your arse. And then people start casting assumptions on your mental health just because they're abusing you, like, sort of thing. And I went up there, and it's bait, Facebook and social media. It's like, go to a unity march. I hadn't even seen the anonymous film at that point. The what is it called? Didn't even see it, the Guy Fawkes film. So I was just like, yeah, okay, that looks alright, because I see a few friends that you hippies around fields going to it. I'm going to go to that. And I just filmed it, and I was wearing a yellow high-vis. So obviously you're like a character in an arena up there, and it's not like, I was minding my own business, just making my way home, had just a couple of drinks, but extenuating circumstances-wise, I'd just been barred from that pub by subcontracting security, just said, I didn't look happy, you need to leave. I was like, oh, how ironic. Don't look happy. Oh, I tell you why I'm not happy, because there's a bunch of people in there that are just being all spiteful all over social media, all over my ass, and they're rotters, but that's alright, they're allowed sitting there, and you're just going to tell the ex-security guard of the O2 Arena to just go because I don't look happy. So it's like, you know what, you get the picture anyway. So I was unhappy. And then this other security guy just literally physically manhandled me, threw me across the pub because I played the drum 1 minute after 12 and I didn't know that it was gone 12. And it was like, why? But this guy had walked in that was an abusive, absolute, ringleader type person around a clique of people that also know those muggy ones. And he just walked in, so I said, was that inspired by him? And then all these Goldsmith students are like patting him on the back for being physically violent. You go, okay, right, so that's the punk thing and how you get manhandled. And there's a film out that I remember seeing that's based in Peckham. I thought, yeah, that rings true. And you relate to all these things that are there. And anyway, my guitar was in there, so I had to call the police they come out. And then I was just like, well, what is it? Why are you to get his badge number? You shouldn't do that, physically assault people for no reason. I do come from a professional background. Anyway, they put me in cuffs, which is ironic. So this has just happened. So I went uptown to this unity march. And I'm walking, doesn't matter what their ethnic minority is. When people commit crimes, you say IC3, IC1, right? You go, that's a IC from male doing whatever. That's when you're reporting it on the radio. So when you're uptown, and an ethnic or IC1 or IC3 or whatever your bracket is, it's to describe a criminal, isn't it? So if you're a lone woman making your way home, mind your own business. Someone starts following you, threatening you, harassing you, intimidating you, and threatening you with your night in a cell for nothing, literally. Get over to the other side of the road, oh, you fancy spending a night in the cell, and you've just gone through all these traumatic experiences, 2 of them, sort of thing, really. I just turned around and swore at him. And so it's manipulation. It's not, you never plead guilty to being a drunk, ever. You don't be their cash cow, don't be their victim. And that's what I did for a long time. I was like, at the time, it was devastating. You're sending me to court, you're putting me in a cell for 24 hours, not just 12, just for swearing. They put me in a cage, and there was a cuffs and a bag hanging off of them, heavy bag hanging off of them, and it gave me nerve damage, and it was well over 6 months it lasted, so you're constantly reminded of that nerve damage, what that person did, because they left a heavy coat in a bag hanging off of them in a cage for like over an hour, and I was going, I'm in pain. So first, when they ignore your pain, you go, this is fucking hurting, could you take these handcuffs off? And they ignore you. What are you going to do? I said, all right, then here we go. I said, what I'm about to say is all inadmissible in a court of law because I'm under low-level torture. So I said, you're a bunch of perverted fucking freaks. You enjoy someone being in pain? Do you actually enjoy the sight of someone in pain? You perverted creeps. You should take your perversion to a fucking sex club where it's complicit and someone's complying with the pain and actually enjoys it. You want to whip people? Do that, you fucking perverted wanker. Why don't you have a wank over this? Because that's what it's looking like. You look like you should be in a fucking, and you're talking to like that. And that's it. because I thought, I'm going to get something out of this, I'm going to vent. And that's not a mental health issue. That's me venting the fucking fact that I don't like them. I don't like them as an outfit for allowing me to be in pain. I don't like them. I don't like what I've just been through. I don't like the fact that you put me in cuffs and this guy had just physically assaulted me, but you did it for the audience, and it was just like you were making an absolute mug out of me at this music venue. And I'm pretty sure they're all connected. Like, I think that the intel, facial recognition, information, attending a march. Oh, look, it's that one. Oh, look. Oh, wait, Manda. She called us the other day. Intel. So, like, when that happened, right, that was 2016, I was devastated because you go to court and it comes back after pleading guilty to might have offended a member of the public with my mouth. Might have offended a member of the public. I said I can deal with that. And solicitors as good as man short. Plead guilty, it's your first offence. Plead guilty. I pled guilty to being manipulated by an outfit. That's all I did that day. I pled guilty to being abused. My God, when I look at it in hindsight, I go, what did I do that day? Just plead guilty. And it come back my CRB saying, racist, religious, aggravated harassment in words and writing. So they threw the whole town centre Unity March book at me, right? And I was like, wow, depressed for, like, I let it get to me probably a couple of years, and I was like, I'm not working in security again. I don't know what that comes back as. I got more work that year, more than ever, around film sets, and I was too shook, and I wasn't really, like, talking to people as much as out confident as I usually would be, because it wasn't the damage the police had done more so, it was more, the people in my community that I'm pretty sure suspected were trying to make you, a woman, totally vulnerable around drinking establishments and unable to drink there anymore because of what they were sullying me with and what they'd done. You listen to a woman, you listen to her words. If she says that, you don't treat a woman this. If you know a woman to be with women predominantly all her life and have just, that's what I was in long-term relationships. Things happened that shouldn't have happened, and then you sort of empower yourself or think you're empowering yourself, and they've probably committed mulca. Oh, but that's her. You try to look for sympathy, and people say, that's CCTV though, and it is protection. Oh, right, so you can have your nanny cams in bedrooms, and that's what probably creepy people do. And then you go, right, I'm on a set soon after that with Kevin Bacon, and then the Freaks on promoting YouTube, and your whole world like falls down around you. Like, you're like, ugh. Do you think that potentially could be a racket that operates around that Pank pub that has links to VIPs probably being of that arena name in America? And all these things go around your head and you go, no way. I'm breaking it down for you. This is like an asylum, really. This is the institute everywhere. And it's everywhere, and you start to sort of get a feel of what is what and who's who. And you go, the police are out to just abuse you now because you've made a wave and they think they know who you are, but you were actually the victim of crimes, and then they just committed more crimes on you. Just, but forgive yourself on a popo. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you, Laura. It's alright. You didn't know that people were just that shit, really, so it's alright. You live and learn. Rise, Laura, rise. And yeah. And what happened? Oh, I met a girl at a festival. And then I told her all about this. I probably shouldn't have waited, just told her all about it. But I tried to stay in contact with her, and she probably had all her own issues. She used to have a bit of a habit, she said, which tells people that rocks people, and they don't really take people for what they are. They just try to sort of whatever. They don't treat you as they should. And her mum was drawing my legs behind a pair of bars, so I just said that's a negative manifesting witch. I was there buying you lots of fresh fruit and shopping because I thought I was potentially just seeing your daughter. I mean, it was a bit of a taboo, but she said it depends what you've been through in life. And I said, here. And I was with an old woman when I was a lot younger, so I know exactly how to treat somebody that's younger. And I think sometimes that prepares you for that. And I thought it was a bit taboo, even by my standards, but I thought, yeah, she's quite a wise one. And my ex-girlfriend was 10 years younger, but she was like a little old woman, and she was proper like wisdomful and next level soul. And you spend time with people and you go, it doesn't really matter, age just is a number if they're of age. Who gives a fuck, really? But she, obviously, that was true, and I think her mum probably encouraged the hatred in calling the police. But she should have really been done for wasting police time, because I'd already given up on her anyway. Because when I was in the area with my friend, I said, I'm just going to write a note and put it through a letterbox. And I did. I put it through it, and I knocked on the door, and she goes, I'm going to call the police on you. And I went, oh, okay, fuck that. I said, psycho, I'm not bothered. Like, done. So why was I getting arrested at an airport during COVID? For to protect a vulnerable adult or child. And that's what they put on a bail sheet, and they circulate that around. So you're like, oh man, you're fucking hate campaigns, isn't it now? This is what you're actually doing. And then the following year I got arrested because I sent her a birthday card that said, somebody loves you, don't hate me for it, no hard feelings. And it was just me and my mum doing that on a funky pigeon card. But I would really, more than anything in the world, just love to know if she had called them over that, or they just had to phone around and look for some information, because I spent 2 days in a cell for a birthday card. 2 days in a cell for a bike pack because they arrested me in Bournemouth front. And I do know for a fact that they were listening to my phone. It was going click, 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 click. So I was like, there's something funny going on down here, I can hear this. And they turned up exactly the same point that my brother was picking me up on the beach. I spent a whole day in a cell, broke all my human rights and said I didn't know what I was in the cell for. And it's like, oh, you're on a wanted system, they're coming to get you, take you back to London. Oh, really? So you cut my holiday short, and then I'm in a cell in Bethnal Green. There's no water in the cell in Bethnal Green. You have to buzz on the buzzer. It takes hours sometimes to get water. Human rights are disgusting in London. And you're like, what is this? Why am I in a cell for? Another 12 hours pass, and they say, do you know anything about a birthday card? Yes. When you try to get help for this shit, they go, were you drinking at the time, Bri? Yeah, I was. So what? And what? Is somebody else pushing charges about me being a drunk in public? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to try and build another case about someone? So people, when they say about mental health, it's like they make you feel unsafe to go out as a lone woman and drink, basically. And when I was making my way home, only the other day, it was like, literally on the tube station embankment, there was somebody getting pulled off the track, apparently. His name was Omar, and they were handling him. At which point I said, fuck the police, apparently. And I didn't get the pleasure of seeing the incident report. I only got to see it because the room was delayed, and they handed it to me. Oh, sorry, you can go in after this one. So I looked at it, and it says, Laura said, fuck the police. Well, you are a bunch of perverted cunts. Anyway. And I was just, then we entered the train after the incident was handled with, and took Laura off the train to put her against the wall to have her at a disadvantage. So he got on the train and took me off of it. That's all I know, because I don't actually remember any of it. But it's just a drunken disorderly, right? But they had me in a cell again. And then it was like, you come out, we're pushing charges against you. Really? Transport police pushing charges of a drunk woman just calling you a bunch of that. Sorry, I've got unhealed traumas, but thanks for helping me heal them. I think that every experience just helps you heal it when you've got the right coaches, gurus, and life coaches and people. You can go through a lot of stuff, but the point is there is this thing at the side of the tunnel. Because people, during that time, I was hyper aware of the criminality within the country. I was hyper aware of how people do lose their lives in the system. I was hyper aware of my friends that have got bipolarity or different things that have been forced down these roads worse and worse and worse and piled on the pressure at the wrong times and kept on going. I've hyper aware of all of it and just become someone that's aware of exactly how awful people in a uniform are, on account of the fact that they can get away with it, and station staff are just complicit and they enable, facilitate crooked, corrupt these thieves. And ironically, the person that I was writing the letters to that I met at the festival, who had been the victim of a crime 7 times, had been in the mental health system, had all these extenuating circumstances that made me feel like I had no other choice than to keep in touch with her, write a letter in the post. Just let me know if you're getting the letters, because I was starting to think that there was something really bad going on, because my postbox was always left open. So I was thinking, given my background, the sort of semi-famous VIP almost like status, is my letters even getting to her? So I needed a friend in her, right? That's all I wanted in her. I wasn't sex pest, wasn't harassing, wasn't asking anything of her other than could you send an email this way. Now, her brother was on my social media, and her mum at the time, so really, if you couldn't employ them to just use the words fuck off, then you're wasting police time, right? But Let's just ignore all that and say, oh, we just say it's because Laura's drunk, and then we're trying to make a case out of her and build a case of her. So you just get a reputation as being the drunk. Oh, Laura, every time she's drunk, we'll just get our mitts on her. It's manipulation is what it is. You can't enjoy your time in a place like London anymore because the face is spoken. And you can say what you want, it's because of social media and the fact that you're so outspoken about things, the things on the farm, that fundamentally disaffect a lot of people. And that would be families with certain things. Like I love my mum, best mum on the planet. I cannot complain about her. Like, she'd do anything for you, but she drinks, and this is part of the culture, and this is part of the establishment culture. When the abuse people, racket people, get at you via, like, a racket, you can't go to a place like that, because you lose all your integrity when something happens to you, and you go, I blacked out, or was I responsible for that? You just own it. Own it on a popo. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you and thank you. Don't get in those states again. Don't go to establishments and drink. Don't do that. Unless then you climb the ladder and you put yourself in a position where you're safe again. It's like, it becomes like more than a will to survive. It's like, I actually need a lot of fucking money to get a lot of fucking respect, to get a lot of fucking, like, okay, Laura's in the house. You know, you can't let anything happen to this one because she might not remember it, and this is like, whatever. Just try not to black out, basically. But that's it. But this is a big problem in the country. People black out all over the place. Like, it's quite commonplace that people do. And it's just like, well, I wouldn't go to that place again because I ordered one beer and I can't remember anything. I have a bruise on my chest, on my back. I mean, I felt like I'd had a heart attack. Maybe I had had a heart attack. Maybe someone tried to resuscitate me. Maybe someone was jumping on me. Maybe there was a fire. Maybe this. Maybe I just fell over. You know, you go like this and you go, it's not good for your mental health. I just remember, I just come to in this. I said, is it okay to stay on this boat? I stayed on the boat. Woke up the next day going like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? And it's just like, yeah, I just kind of had a couple of beers and was like, totally blacked out. News to me, whatever. Anyway, I had a nice day the next day. I was very gentle with myself and then thought, you are not going to ever put yourself in a position where you don't remember anything ever again. And true to my word, I pretty much have stuck to that. After the other day I was at the Olympics. But yeah. And let's face it, drunk people are annoying, aren't they? It's like when they're drunk and it's an annoying thing. But we process things and move with the times and everything, and this is alright. But anyway, Wim Hof, that's what I started to get on here for, and ayahuasca, and letting it all go, and being in a place of forgiveness. It takes a lot of time. Time heals all wounds, and if you haven't got time, you are generally screwed. If you're in the demographic that I am, that allows the police abuse, that has the abuse, if they think that they can get away with something or be in something toward a person, they will do it. The DCs did that on purpose, put me through that on purpose. For what? A birthday card. I'd love, like I said, love more than anything to just know whether she actually picked up a phone and went, she sent me a birthday card this year. I'm a brilliant drunk, not a violent drunk. I dance, I do Tai Chi, and then I lie on, and then I fall asleep, or whatever, but I think it's all entertainment in the general sense of the word if I'm in a public place. Might be annoying, might be the sort of thing you want to arrest, because as I come to on the platform after they've taken me off and sort of just, you come to your senses, like, oh, and you're not fucking arresting me again, like, the people are just sort of like, and the train's pulled in that station, you go, I feel like that was a total case of another manipulation gig. Did the film world just like give me scrapamine? Like, I can't remember walking to the station, I just come to and you're all over me, like, was that settled? Did you call action? Action! Train comes up, rolls out of the station, and you're like, what are you arresting me for? Do you think I'm joking? You think there's other things like esoteric society abuse? Next level. Think about this one. Think about this very deeply. Popes, Catholic churches, pine cones. Scrapamine. Narcotic you can give someone and say, go and empty your cash point. Okay, boom. Mind control drug to that degree. You could say, walk across the road into that car, and they would do it under the influence of the devil's trumpet, scrapamine, the world's most dangerous drug vice. So then you go to yourself, so Mary Magdalene that birthed Jesus, did she actually, really, was she a virgin birth, or did she was just like, given scrapamine? You won't remember it, you won't remember anything. Do you think mind control is a very real thing? Of course it is. Do you think hypnosis and other things are very real factors that people can actually, the subconscious mind, you see programs about it, don't you? Like the Darren Brown, not that one, when the guy was like, on the way to his job interview, we're going to put that on a bus, that on there, that there, that there, that there. And it programs the subconscious, because your subconscious mind is the thing that's recording literally everything and you're just unaware of it. And it's formulating an idea and then saying, oh, I'm responsible for that idea, but you're actually not. So like mind control and other things. And you go, well, they're filming a film called Embankment in like where I live, and this is Embankment Station, and this is how this is going down. And I just said, I'm not pleading anything whatsoever because I don't understand. There's no part of me that understands what just happened. I remember walking towards the station and then the next minute you put me in cuffs. So you have to be very careful around that society, because it's not always cut and dry or what you think it is. That's what I've begun to learn. I've begun to learn a lot of things. Also a lot of things, and half the stuff that is even real, like sometimes news and things, it's just an esoteric manipulate, a lot of it, some of it depending on the character and what they think of the character. They don't like my character because I'm a lesbian, I like women. I mean, it's still a bit of a taboo, some people hate on it. I come from a Reigner lineage, which apparently does have royalty blood. I said the police know more about my lineage than me because they took my blood. First time I was arrested. Sound like a theme, isn't it? But why was you the first time you ever arrested? Just once. Told you about all of them. But I was just in a car driving, and literally they thought I was on a mobile, so they pulled me over, and then I was like, what? And then it's like, we're running you through a system, and it's taken ages. The system's down because I had a bit of an attitude. I was working. I just come from a music college at the time, Street Vibes, and then I said, what? No. And they're like, we're running through the system. Oh, sorry, the system's down, keeping me waiting. I said I had somewhere to be. Could you not? I live literally across there. I said, if you follow me there, I'll give you a cup of tea if you like. And then they were like, just ignored me, and just had, it was the attitude and the body language, and coming from a 5-star like training, it's like, what the fuck is that? I pay for that, a taxpayer, and that just ignored me and my desire to get somewhere and tell them where I live. If your system's down, just follow me. So I just said, yeah, you heard that then. Yeah, was that follow me over around there? So pulled out into traffic really slowly. And then the second time they used the blue lights, because the first time obviously they didn't, they just went flash. So I stopped and complied that time with the simple flash. And then I stopped, obviously, when they woo woo. Not that I was needed to stop, it's not like I had to slam on the brakes or anything, so I was pulling out into traffic. Anyway, they did that, and they went mental. And at the time, on the radio, it was like, refusing to stop incident was in the news. And I was like, oh, is this programming these androids? Because it was like, pulled out the fucking car, flopped into wrist, like fucking really violently, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then I just went like this, in a little passing clouds moment, this bloke falls on me, my head slams down next to the curb like that. And it's like bloody nose, and they cut my knee, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then they take me to the station. They drive me all the way to Plumstead for some strange reason. I think that's the first place you go to, and not to the one that's just been built in Lewisham, just like 2 seconds away. What is that? Why did you not take me to Lewisham, big complex, new modern? You take me all the way to Plumstead, and I'm like, what? And they take me in, it's like, what's she in for? Refusing to stop. Assault on an officer, attempted assault on an officer. Oh! And there's me like a bloody nose and cut knee and everything. And the nurse was like, you alright? I was like, yeah. I said, what the fuck was that? I said, literally, didn't have to be so fucking heavy. He literally fumbling fell on me. It was like, he could have caused me, he could have killed me. Took my blood. Do you test my blood? Do you see what my lineage is? Do you see where I come from? Reigner. Anyway, don't like lesbians. don't like this, don't like that. Oh yeah, she went out with that one. Oh, we know that because they're all around your community. They're in pubs and that. Oh yeah, I remember that. I was a town centre warden. Ironically, they pulled me up because the guy that was on his day off, who's the manager of the other team, he hardly had a squeaky clean record. He's reporting me for sitting on the floor just doing up my shoelaces and shit like that. And you go like, what is this? Like mental workplaces. I had my belly full of workplaces coming from supervisory position to be then under people that are younger than me. It's like they take the piss out of your life. She's in charge of a TA and she's like, how much younger than me? And I just come from that professional environment. You put me under her, pressed the shit out of me. So I ran away to festivals, and then I run away to festivals because I've been trained by people called Persona HR, and at the secret garden party, and they say go small world stage, they say to me. So I said alright then, and I'm sitting there and I'm depressed out of my shit because I was split up with my girlfriend, and I'm just really unhappy. I'm sitting on the floor, even drinking brandy, because it's the quietest stage ever, and these two heavy walk over. They go, we don't. They see that it's a surplus stage and they don't need security there, because that's what they do with subcontract firms. Oh, we don't need this one. We can cut a bod and then save a bit of money. So yeah, you're at the wrong stage. How long have you been sitting here for? This is the only small world stage at Secret Garden Party. What are you talking about? It's the wrong stage. You're at the wrong place. So we don't need you now. Go back to camp. I was like, oh, okay. So I bump into this guy. I did some DMT. Some sort of shamanic shit. Don't know really what happened then. He just says, come to the next festival with me. I said, yeah, that sounds really appealing, you know. So I just enjoyed the couple of days, walked around. It was alright, it was good. And went to the next festival, which was Festival in Dorset. And I stayed for a couple of days at the Secret Garden Party. And the cowboy, Daz man, I was like, oh man, alright, I'll litter picking, go there and do that. And got into that one, and was sitting, and we met this guy called Richard outside from Bournemouth, and yeah, he's alright. And he gave him a lift home after the festival. It was really good. I really enjoyed doing litter picking and stuff. It was just different. It's just like forget everything for a little while, just walking around, right? Just forget everything, forget it all. And then after that, met somebody taking down teepees. She said she was the teepee field manager, and she goes, come to the next festival. I said, this is great, really. I've never felt more free in my life. Like, come to the next festival, take down the teepees for me, and I pay you in hash. She wasn't the teepee manager. We just done loads of free work, and she disappeared. Anyway, but then she was having her moments, and she was doing a wilding thing. She said, come to the next one, which was in Dorset, and went to that. And supposed to be working for Skinny Malinky's restaurant or something. Skinny Malinky, lanky legs, is that? And I was like, I didn't turn up for the shift though, so I just sort of bummed out on that one. Then took her to Basingstoke where she lives, and then went to Avesbury Snow Circle, and then got up in on the free culture, pikey culture, living your life culture, happy culture. People telling you that freedom is more than a word, and the liberties that all these people, townies, take all over townies. And it was like ordained, because I kept getting handed the book. Like, I come back to London, and so someone gave me it in the Queen's Park. That was mad, because I was just laying there, and then he rolled on top of me, and then I jumped, I stole this man's bike because he rolled on top of me. I thought, oh no, what's happening? Jumped on his bike and just cycled all the way home. Theft. I did, because I was scared. I had that come into it, I'm just telling loads of like random shit. But it's like, when you go through that hedonistic place and let it all go, you're at risk of being labelled things. And I met people that were at risk of being vulnerable because they were just trying to achieve freedom of assault, running around festivals, going here, going there. She got me into another one called Croissant Earth by just being respect your festival, and I think she won a little award at the O2. That was random as fuck. She was like, yeah, do you want to work for me? We get into this festival, Croissant Earth, and we'll pick up butts. We basically go there as the cleaning firm after the cleaners are done, and we get every single little butt off that floor. There will not be it'll be spotless. She got in as that. We got in there, and then I went to it was adventuring. But that's what I learned at that time. When you are like, if you're just fed up of the implications of just being what I was, a Londoner, sense of heavy burden upon one's shoulders. Sign on, get a job, sign on, get a job. It was so pressured that I lost all sense of direction, creativity and art and everything. And that was partly my fault because I like to keep my girlfriends in holidays. Like, I just settle and go, yeah, I'll keep us in work, get in work, like to take you on holiday. And do normal things. So you compromise your whole artistic integrity and where you think you want to go and different factors and things because you don't know the way in, because you don't want to go to university. And it's hard being a lone female walking around places. And the irony is, you spend all this time with A-listers and all this stuff, and you don't really generally give a like, there's nobody that you would actually stalk. There's nobody that you would actually go to them lengths for. And ironically, you go to that punk pub, and it was like, that's what someone's abusing me on Facebook again. It was like, I ain't you some stalker. Fuck off. Fuck off. You'd be lucky if I was your stalker. The only incentive I had. Oh, and that's the other funny thing. I think that people think when I got back, someone said, do you know this artist? I said, no. I didn't actually see her at the 2 festivals that I was at first. So I think people thought that I was, like there to see her, and I didn't even know who she was, because the minute I was back, I didn't know. This guy says, check her out, you're gonna love her. So I did, and I went, yeah, I really like that. There's not any artists talking about this or this, and she's mentioned that. So it's like almost like people got inside my psyche. Maybe when I did that DMT, and I can't remember, maybe they did. Then I thought it was a conspiracy theory, some sort of like carrot dangling, I'm a puppet, and they're trying to lead me down this path, because I can't actually remember that DMT experience. But then she goes, you're going to love her. So I said, I saw you at Festival, did you see her there? Don't know who she is. Went home, watched her, got a ticket for Soho Theatre, watched there, was like, boom, boom. And it's incentive, and it's like a role model. Even though she's younger, she's a role model, because she's gone through, and I suppose, I don't know who's guiding her to these places to do these things, but it's incentive and it's inspiring. I mean, I'm a scatty fuck. Like, and I know a lot of artists are that, and that's why when someone says inspire to inspire, it's like, yes, you have to keep going, because her style was something I identified with a little bit. There was something about her that I identified with more than anybody of the artists or something. It's like, yeah, it's somehow unattainable. I'm a Dolly Daydream. I'm not really thinking that I can actually get there. It's the part of me that's not resolved, and so inspire to inspire. It's like she's stepping that way, and it somehow is like, oh yeah, it's clicking now. It's clicking. So your incentive to have more time off work, basically. So I went to what's it called? Latitude. I went to Latitude to see her play released that time, and it all felt like esoteric society around, like they know you before you know you. Do you know me before I know me? Like, and you feel the love, if that way. You actually feel the love for the first time in your life, potentially. Do I feel the love? It's like you can watch any amount of screens and be like, I don't think I feel the love. Don't feel the love. It's like, that's what I said. I put things on my Facebook and I say I feel like the people around me, they make me feel like your heart's turned into stone. Because they're older people, they don't get it. They're not ingratiated in the world that I got ingratiated in a little bit, because there was a hive building as well where they were getting squat buildings and people, and I met that was a funny, oh yeah, there's more to the story. Why did you come up with that brand? The brand idea. Let's go there, because I was at this festival, and the one that got me into the festival, who does have struggles with the system, and I do care for her welfare. Just because someone's like, if they don't want experiences sometimes happen, and you've got kids, I don't think you should be put in situations where you're in a place that you don't want to be in. If you have an episode, doesn't mean that person, if they feel like they want to be out of a place, they should be out of a place. I just don't agree with people being in places they don't want to be in. Does that make sense? If they've done nothing actual wrong. And so in her case, I was a little bit scared for her. Anyway, she met a guy outside this festival, and then she ended up having his kids. And he was a squat monkey. Madness. Met all these like squat people opening squats in my area and stuff. And sorry if that felt a bit like and it's like, to feel like proper wild is that's the one, innit? You would get addicted to that sense of community and community spaces and artistic living and stuff. And at one point I was totally aligned with it all of a sudden, and all these people and characters were coming in and then they were gone again, and it was just like, it was dream like, in the fact that you got a place to collaborate with people and do stuff, and you're literally that inspired and you're chasing it that much, even though it's like, whoa, taking all these sort of like, is it, yeah, amazing time. And that side of the community is like the left, isn't it, as described, and I come from a right, left, right, and people want to just control their kids and they're scared for them, and I understand that and fears, but people that are fully ingratiated in the farm, I am aligned with on my mum's side. They have never experienced that side of life. They go from council flat into the NHS council flat. They are solid in the concrete jungle, and I like to just basically describe all these things for people because there's a massive deficit in understanding, and you can feel so cut off and alone and feel like it is a heart stone country that is trying to cripple, crush and debilitate you and hobble you, which they kind of succeeded in doing for a little while, but I'm not complaining because you only get one mum and dad, and I love them very much. I don't want to be in these particular positions, but they're becoming older and older, and they've lived in the concrete jungle, so their hearts are more stone than anybody else's stone. They haven't embraced community, they haven't been to festivals, they haven't smoked a spliff. I've got them on CBD because I think it helps pain, and there's so much pain, the pair of them. He's got rheumatoid, and it's like, then you need the money. You need the money to get the good stuff. It doesn't, like, I know it's coming through the NHS now. They say, oh, you can get on the CB, you can do this and do that. But it's not easy. And it's so much easier just to have money and just go, yeah, I'll get the Dutch CBD, I'll do this, do that, and that's, and, there are always alternatives to the pharmaceutical world and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to say, that you feel the love, and love is probably the biggest healer, isn't it, in the planet? And it took like that left side of life that I think they've been trying to attack me and hate on me heavily because they don't know where I fit in somehow. And it's like, I'll tell you where I fit in. I just want to make it philanthropic. I want to do a lot of things. I want to implement a lot of change because there's not a homeless person that needs to be homeless. I know that. After my squat journey and thing, it was like, okay, 2 and 2 make 4. Okay, big issue, sofa surf, spare room. Okay, sense of security needed around that, isn't there? Then that's what the police should be doing. Well, no, fuck the police, because they're just use goods man short, ain't they, really? Because all they want to do is just rob your sleeping bag. So what we need to do is make the brand, convert the van, have a person that is a sort of security head that will document the person, put them in there, get them on the feet, get them woofing, get them sofa surfing, get them out of town, get them up and running if they want that. Easy. And it's just not that. That's not the only thing that it could be used to implement, because I've noticed the deficit in people loving all the Wim Hof and loving all the alternative health practitioners out there that probably would love a bit of employment, and to just document cases of people that feel like they aren't getting the love and the help they need via on the concrete in the lowest ends of society. You say to yourself sometimes, wow, they're dumbing down the kids sort of thing now. They're putting them on the app, and it's become standardised, motorised in some. I just, trust me when I say this, I understand the spectrum. I understand. Like, so the kids are just, and then it's just screen, and they got such high dreams and ambitions, and you'd love every single dream and ambition to come true. You want the best for everybody, and you know that everybody hasn't got access to freedom and woofing and fruit and adventure. And I worry about really like family kids, because they come from a state to a more sterile estate, and even though they're like in a hub of a place, I don't know how much. I don't know, I suppose it's just the way of the world, isn't it, really? In developed worlds, they just get bigger and bigger and more concrete and concreter, and I just don't know if their happiness levels are the same. I hope they are. I hope that they get all of the experiences, because I don't know, I really like my life personally, and I don't think that it's anything to stand in judgment of or say this person is that or that person is that. So hedonistic, so much to go through, always learning, and yes, I do try to put it into writing, and I would just like that employed. I did a self-help book, it basically just tells a story, the crap you go through, and there's a song to go with it, and there's also a cure for every mental health condition. And honestly, I don't think anybody should have to go through that, because we start off, we don't have the right boundaries, all our boundaries are violated in some places, and then you have to learn to what a boundary is, and if people keep violating them, then it gets ever more offensive, and you go, well, I keep going restoring myself and fixing myself, but they're taking liberties and nobody's questioning it, and then that's soul destroying, because that same commune where you felt the love is just being disrespectful, because let's face it, people are quite pikey like in nature, and they love drama, and they like defamation, they like slander, they like saying, oh Laura, especially it's because it's alcohol, let's be honest. So the solution is not to drink alcohol. I think you can drink alcohol all day long in the right company, all day long in the right company, if you get on with somebody. If it's all cushy, it's cushy. If you go to certain places, like there was this person, I went to go and have, I just sort of like kicked a door open, not kicked it open, just sort of swung it open like that. Someone, yeah, long stories, but people would try to make something out of something when it's not. And that's what alcohol can bring about, messiness, can't it? Because alcohol leads then to other substances, and the gateways alcohol leads to all other experiences, and people trying everything and everything else. So this is something people need to be prepared for, what you're going to face when you are in a circle of people that actually manipulate, and they're more about that, they're out for that, they're out for your manipulation, because it's like sport to them. So you've got to just be careful who you trust, who can you trust, do you trust anyone? Do I? No. Apparently I'm the chosen one, and that's why I'm supposed to roll on my own, because everything's just chaos when you go and try to make friends in the wrong environments, because they might all want just another story or another stricter chair off somebody, or try to, and you couldn't be a more amiable, agreeable person, all said and done. You just feel like you're wasted, and you should thus make money, and should have people, a pirate, a ginger, and a crow walk in a pub. Do you want to just help me develop a song, and then I'll try, once I'm up and running, and then I can get up and running, and then I can help everybody get up and running. It's called teamwork. Let's hope it comes to fruition, because I really do feel privileged to be here, but I can't do it on my own. People that need people are the luckiest people. Yes, but you have to be really selective about people, and keep your eye on the prize, and not jeopardise when you know that you realise what you said you could potentially do, and you should do it. And hopefully I will. And hopefully when there's a festival comes up, people will just like give me a ticket. Could you give me a ticket? Community, could you give me a ticket? Because then I can start making it and faking it till I make it, and then I'm in festivals when I ain't got to pay, because I'm on universal credit and it really don't cut it. I mean, I won tickets to the Olympics homecoming. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a +1. If people didn't ghost people's asses all the time, life might be good, mightn't it? So yeah, that's the moral of the story, is like, that's my background. That's basically my autobiography in a nutshell. I've wrote my autobiography there, and I could embellish, and it could be on paper, and it could make money, but the story of my life thus far as a creative and an artist is I've just been putting it on social media and putting all rights reserved copyright on it, because there's only one me who's watching these, and apparently it attracts like a magnet, and I didn't know how to operate the magnet before, but it's a Lionsgate portal, and I think this should what day is it? 5th. Ooh, yeah, it peaks on the 8th. Apparently, this is the time to make all dreams come true. Orion's belt. Orion's belt. Alignment with Lionsgate portal. Crystalline 8 technology. I'm not Amethyst D&B, by the way. I'm not the person that creates Amethyst D&B. I am an Aquarius though, and it didn't go unnoticed that there was a lot of people with a lot of same energy at a lot of same time, and I did feel like a meme for a lot, and I get displaced, and I get disassociation, and then sometimes I have those moments when it all goes, what? Oh shit, that's who I am. Oh, I forgot that I sing. And it's like that really, to be me. Sometimes it's displaced sometimes, and it's like, don't waste it. Because if you waste me, you waste yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Industrial bunnies and peers. That's what I was looking for all along. Peers. And quite an easy peer to maintain.